Our next instrument is the bassoon. Rising to popularity over 500 years ago, the bassoon is a large woodwind instrument that belongs to the oboe family for its use of a double reed. Historically, the bassoon helped to expand the range of woodwind instruments into lower registers. The modern bassoon plays a really important role in an orchestra or wind symphony due to its versatility and that wide range. As a cello player, I really identify with the bassoon and I think of it as the cousin of the cello. It's just in the woodwind family instead of the string family. And cellists and bassoonists sometimes play the same parts in a symphony orchestra or in small groups, and I've had the great pleasure of playing in a lot of chamber ensembles with bassoonist friends. And the sounds are really similar, and we get to play a lot of the same parts. There aren't too many bassoonists in band either, so if you play bassoon, you'll be invited to play in lots of groups. Here's a video showing you how to play the bassoon.
Hi, I'm musician first class Renee DeBoer, and I'm here to tell you why I love playing the bassoon. A lot of people have never seen the bassoon before, and the first thing they notice about it is how big and tall this thing is. In fact, when I first started playing the bassoon, this thing was taller than me. What you probably don't realize about the bassoon is it's a lot bigger than it looks. This instrument is 8 feet long. How's that possible? Well, I'll show you. Right here, this is called the reed, and that's where the air starts vibrating. From there, it travels down this tube and down and down and down all the way to the bottom of the bassoon, and then it makes a U-turn and comes all the way back up to the top. So basically, the bassoon is a really long instrument that's been folded in half on itself. So what does that mean? Well, that means the bassoon has a huge range. It can play really low and really high and everything in between. And a few notes on top just for fun. What I love the most about the bassoon, though, is the sound. To me, the bassoon has a vocal quality, like a human voice. And since I've never been much of a singer myself, when I play the bassoon, I feel like I can really sing out. I hope you've enjoyed learning all about the bassoon today. And who knows, maybe you'll give it a try sometime soon.
Our next instrument, the clarinet, is much shorter. The clarinet is a relative newcomer among woodwind instruments. It's generally said to have been invented by the instrument maker Johann Christoph Denner in the early 1700s, so about 300 years ago. The clarinet family includes a number of similar instruments of various sizes, such as the piccolo clarinet, there's a smaller one, there's an alto clarinet, a little bit longer, and a bass clarinet, and a contrabass clarinet. It actually looks a little bit like a saxophone because it bends the neck around this way a little bit. So if you see a black-looking saxophone sort of thing, it's a bass clarinet usually, or contrabass maybe. They play in different keys, lots of different note families. But the most common clarinet is the B-flat clarinet, which is which everybody starts on in band, and that's the one you play in middle school band. The clarinet looks like an oboe a little bit because they're both made of dark wood or plastic in this case, and have metal keys, but their sounds are very different. And remember, the oboe uses a double reed and it's not a single reed like a clarinet, so it's a lot harder to play. You have to do a lot more careful things with where you put that reed in your mouth, and it's much more difficult for some people. So here's a great video that shows off all the beautiful sounds that the clarinet can make.
Hello, I'm Airman First Class Louis Kim. I'm a member of the United States Air Force Heritage of America Band, and I play the clarinet. And the clarinet is part of the woodwind family. The clarinet is made out of wood, and it consists of mouthpiece, a barrel, the upper joint, the lower joint, and the bell. As you can see, the clarinet also has keys and tone holes. When you press down on the keys and open or close the tone holes, it will produce a different note. So, how do you produce a sound? Well, first, to produce a sound, you would need a reed. This piece of wood, attached to the mouthpiece held down by a ligature, will vibrate when you blow air into it. Some of its unique characteristics are a wide variety of range of the instrument from low to high. For example, second, it can also play very, very quietly. Finally, we can also play something very fast, something very technical with some varied articulations. And that's the clarinet. I hope this was helpful in choosing an instrument for beginning band next year. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Heritage of America Band and send us a message if you have any questions.
The last instrument we'll talk about is the saxophone. Like the clarinet, the saxophone has a single reed to make a sound. Saxophone was designed around 1840 by Adolph Sax. No wonder we call it the saxophone. Adolph Sax, a Belgian instrument maker. He was a flautist and a clarinetist. But Sax was interested in developing an instrument with the projection of a brass instrument, that loud sound of the of the brass metal, and the agility of a woodwind instrument, because you can really just change keys very fast and change notes very fast, much more easily on a woodwind instrument most of the time. The most common saxophones played in a symphonic band are the alto and the tenor saxophones, but you sometimes see a baritone or bari sax as well. All three types are played in the jazz band, and the bari sax, the really low instrument, really helps to give a lot of punch to the sound of a jazz ensemble. If you've ever seen The Simpsons, Lisa Simpson plays the bari sax, that low, cool jazz sound. So saxophones rarely appear in symphony orchestras, but there are a few famous examples of a great saxophone writing in an orchestra. So in this next video, you get to see one of the solos played. It's a beautiful solo from the piece Pictures at an Exhibition called by Mussorgsky. Did I get that right? Mussorgsky? Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. I was thinking for a second my other Russian composers, but Pictures at an Exhibition called The Old Castle.
Hi everybody, I'm Chief Musician Jonathan Yannick, and today we're talking about my instrument, the saxophone. Certainly one of the best instruments in the world, of course. And I've played it for over 25 years, and I still love it so much because I'm learning something new every day about playing it or being a musician. Saxophone's like one of the middle range instruments in the band. It kind of fills in the sound in the middle, and it's also a woodwind instrument in the woodwind family. And it means I make the sound on the instrument by playing the reed here, so that the vibrations from the reed on the mouthpiece go through the horn and make the music that you hear. Saxophone has a big range and is very versatile. Here, I'll give you a little bit of the taste of the range starting from the middle to the bottom. So that's the lowest note on the alto saxophone, and then going up. To the very highest notes there on the saxophone in the altissimo range. The saxophone can play very haunting, beautiful, soft melodies. as well as very technical, athletic things as well, such as this violin piece I'm going to play. In addition to the alto saxophone, there's also the tenor saxophone, which is slightly lower and another instrument that you might start in band class. Saxophone Family has a bunch of different instruments, but the main ones are soprano, alto, tenor, and baritone. So here's the tenor. That's the lowest note on that one. And there's the highest normal range note on the tenor as well. And now, in addition to these classical saxophone, concert saxophone sounds, saxophone is also well known as a jazz and pop instrument, so I wouldn't want to leave that out of this demonstration as well. So here's a little jazz tune called Billy's Bounce. So thanks everybody for tuning in. That's a little bit about the saxophone.
All right, and now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. The joke of the week.
Dun dun dun.
And it's a music joke, and it sort of like last week, sort of relates to the topic at hand, but it's not exactly a woodwind joke, but there is some wind in it. Here it is. All right, what's the most musical part of your body?
There's a lot of good answers to that question.
Yeah. The answer is your nose. You can blow it and pick it.
Oh, just like a guitar, I can pick my guitar. You can pick your guitar, but don't pick your nose, you know?
Yeah, don't do that. Sorry to gross you out there.
Pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. You can pick
bye, everyone. The baby says bye. Now you can see the baby.
Everybody make
duck. Orchestra room.
Everybody make duck face for the baby. See you
Bye,
later.
everybody.
Bye.